Hey, yo, is that a Supra in Need for Speed Heat? Why, yes, it is, my friends. Today, I pose you a question. Need for Speed has not been without fault for a while, for basically every game. But I always praise Need for Speed Heat as my absolute favorite modern Need for Speed. So here's a question for you. Of these two elements, which is the most frustrating? The lack of updates or the handling? I'm gonna say the handling has been a big problem for a while with Need for Speed. But please understand, I am fixing both of these today. Look at this Toyota Supra. Now, it sounds completely wrong. There will be an ability to swap engines, because this is the Unite mod, of course. But this mod is proper high quality if you ignore the shadow for some reason having really big wing mirrors. But it looks amazing, and this is very clearly the model from Forza Horizon 5. Now, I currently do not have the handling mod enabled. This is the stock handling, but I kind of wanted to refresh my brain incredibly quickly to make sure. But before we do that, welcome back to the garage. We are going to be fixing this car because it needs more power, more torque, more everything, essentially. And, let's see what customization we could do. This is going to be the test vehicle, the test mule for today, because again, it solves kind of both issues. This is actually, oh, it's got an SR20. Okay, right, I know what car it is now. Let's see, what can we do with this? So we can put a VR38 in here. I know, I'd put a 2J, but either way, we've got a car with a turbo now. We're going to max this thing out because, obviously, let's go with twin turbos because Supra. None of that big turbo nonsense. Okay, I've tested a few things. The only thing we seemingly can do is get this clear hood on that fits. These do not fit, but that is pretty damn cool. Look at the detail on that thing. Holy crap. And of course, we can change these Nissan wheels. One thing I noticed with this... That feels so wrong. One thing I noticed with this mod, it changes all Nissans to Toyota. Like this, the Toyota Skyline GTR. Obviously, what an incredible car. Aha! That's one thing we can do. Change the exhaust. They aligned those really nicely, at least the aftermarket ones, which is the ones we all care about. Let's go with this bazooka. Ah, yes. Fantastic. Oh, the wing, though. We can actually do the wing. So, obviously, we could put the Rocket Bunny wing on there, and it fits very well. I think I like this more. Yeah, it's a little bit cleaner. We could also just remove the wing if you want to, or have double wangs. If you give me the option for bloody double wang, I'm gonna do it. Get those wheels fitting nicely. There you go, that's a good size. They do look staggered. They might be staggered. Get them tires changed. I still love that you can just change the tire to like whatever you want visually. If I want to put stretch summer tires on, but have it drive like a drag car, why not? Do a cheeky little bit of fitment. The fitment on this car, by the way, fantastic. And get me a little bit more sound. That spoiler is going to clip the ground. Oh, mates. Oh, mates. The flame's in the wrong place, but I don't care. This is crazy. Okay, we're going to start off with a normal race, and then we're going to go to drift to really get the feel. And being honest, straight away, although it's a little unpredictable compared to, say, Unbound, which we've been playing mostly recently, what I'll say is it's actually kind of comforting having a little bit of fight from it. Now, to be fair, I don't know 100% if this is the case, but there's definitely some tweaks that went into the base Unite. At least that's what it feels like. I don't have any of the handling mods on. We're going to compare it from Unite to this handling. Right, let's get on with it then. So, one thing I do not miss about Need for Speed Heat was the clipping issues that happened previous. Okay, brake to drift still definitely there. I think that's going to be a weak point of the standard handling. You can do some like traction control, but when you do that, your handling basically goes in the toilet. So if I go into the live tuning and turn on the traction control, all of a sudden I just... To be fair, it's not as bad as I remember, but I just start to understeer, and it reduces the handling. Come on. It means I don't take corners quite as well. And I'm going to turn that off because that's rubbish. I'm going to do the proper changes here. So normally in the game, there's things like if you put drag tires on, they're better for drifting, which is kind of stupid. I'm actually going to put the drift tires on because that is what we're doing. We're testing it as it should be. Let's put on that drift suspension, and that's pretty much all I'm going to do. Oh, the diff. I guess we got the diff as well. There you go. Drift ready. Drift handling is interesting because I would have argued at launch that this handling was better than the unbound handling. However, as time has gone on and we got that special update for the drifting, there's no question that the drifting was so much better in the new game that it doesn't even compare. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. I'm doing something. It's just a little jank. The game doesn't know whether to grip or to drift, and that's basically what you end up with. You can master it. Again, if you put drag tires on, you do a little better. And if I stopped just full throttling everywhere, maybe I'd do a little bit. But it's just, I'm fighting with it the whole time. But when you get an actual slide in a real car or in other games, it almost just feels like second nature. You've grown another limb, and that limb is controlling the car. I mean, obviously you're just steering and accelerating, but you get the idea. Okay, I've had enough of this. Let us try the mod. So big shout out to Rattler for working on this. He's been working on this for like years, I feel like, at this point. But what it essentially does is try to make it more Forza Horizon, making it more Simcade, because that's what he kind of prefers in the feel. Now, to clarify, whenever I've played Simcade handling mods before, I've always been kind of disappointed. I've always felt like they were still just fighting just a different battle. But here's the credits to the creators of this mod and the work that's gone into this. Right, let's get on with it. Okay, what I want to do... Oh, things have already changed. Oh my god, the car hopped. I want to reapply any suspension parts because that's just an obvious thing to do. We just installed a mod and I really need to make sure that things are changing. So let's do, just because we've just done it, drift. So on the tires, you'll notice they've renamed and recategorized all of these. You've got semi-slicks, you've got high traction drift tires, and race tires. Let's start with the high traction drift tires. We've got a lot of power. It kind of makes sense to give that a go. Clutch, all the same, all fine. Differential. Okay, yes! We've got drivetrain conversions as well. This is something that I loved from a previous version of the Unite kind of handling. So we got the race differential rear wheel drive, drift differential. So this makes it, what, 40% lock on rear wheel drive? Okay, and this is drift all wheel drive. I think I'm going to go rear wheel drive, to be honest. And the return of the drag kit. I don't know if you remember that, but that made you go like 1,000,000 miles an hour. All right, let's check it out. What the... Yeah, it's a little snappier, to say the least. Oh my goodness. I think something with this game is that it hits high revs so quickly but drops so fast. Right, the good news is we've got these brand new live tuning settings. So we've got downforce, of course. We've got suspension setup, meaning understeer or oversteer. I'm actually going to put a little bit more. Let's go all the way understeer. Traction control balance, and we've got brake balance as well for the sake of drifting. That's on the front. Something I appreciate straight away is the peeling away that the car does, like the actual slide. That's something that Need for Speed fails to do pretty much every time. You can kind of hold momentum where you set off. If you set off, the car should just naturally continue what you're doing previously unless it grips up and you've got like insanely grippy tires. But if I peel off, it should continue that momentum. I'm going to play around with it for a little bit, get the tuning that I want, get the parts installed that I want, and then give that drift event a go again. I'm feeling with the amount of power we've got right now that we might be better off going for the all-wheel drive drivetrain for the sliding. One thing I've noticed, it doesn't initiate the like screeching and the tire marks, the effects of losing control, unless you're doing it in the game's like parameters. So there's like an early part that you don't notice that you are sliding, you just don't get the reaction. Oh, the peel! It's very snappy still. Very, very snappy. Okay, all-wheel drive. If you know anything about me, it's that I am all-wheel drive for damn life. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I need in my veins. I like this a lot. I think for ease of use, the best thing you can be doing is using this, like, roll the stick. This is something I see people talk about in games a lot, but essentially what you need to be doing is pushing forward and kind of smoothing out your inputs. It's a good way to get a little bit more smoothness out of your steering, but I wouldn't recommend it in the case of racing. Even though it looks smoother, you kind of need to just be stabbing it. Let's be real. There's something about wheel versus controller that will always be the case. Wheel, you can do much more minute inputs and smoother. But in the case of... arcade racing games and controller input in general, yeah, do as best as you can and make it smooth, but at the same time, don't worry, they've done things there to make it a little easier. I am in love with the live tuning now. It properly lets you just, I miss this, dial in your car as you're going for it. And getting a nice balance. In fact, you can even play with it as you go to give you a bit of an advantage. Now, the traction control, if I go all the way, it still lets you slide, but you can hear it kind of reducing power, which means it makes it easier to kind of get the slide. At least keep it and not spin out. But of course, you want to lower that down. So you get a bit of a better slide. One thing that is difficult for me is having to like rewire my brain, considering that Need for Speed is very much a like stab and go game for the most part, and it has always been that way. This is good. This is good. Definitely need a bit more practice with it, but when you get it right, when you get it right. All right. Let's try out the grip handling, because in my opinion, that was one of the most frustrating parts. Need for Speed has always had okay drifting, if you ignore 2015's weird crabbing. But I like me arcade racing games, and so arcade drifting is fine. It's the case that I was forced to do it in basically every which occasion. So this mod actually fully strips out brake to drift. Okay, that's what they kind of say. They disabled brake to drift. I'm expecting remnants to still be there because this is just a core element. What we can do with handling modifications like this is some changes, but I feel like it's not quite a full stripping out of the handling. That's just not possible unless we could fully just rip out whole elements of the game. The physics is still bound to Need for Speed's physics, or Frostbite's physics system. But let's go for full slick race tires. Let's go for building out that suspension with the track suspension. That sounds like a good idea. And we will check out the drag kit for just the sake of it, but we won't do that right now because I want to see, is this thing any good? Don't disappoint. Not again. Come on then. We're going to do the drive that we always end up doing, but I want to see, holy crap, this feels fast. I don't even have motion blur enabled because, you know, the car mods kind of bugger up with that. Whoa! Did my suspension just bottom out? I don't think I've seen that in Need for Speed before. All right, live tuning. On the way, we have got full-on understeer. Let's go in the middle. Let's turn off traction, because I really feel we don't need it. Holy crap, that is understeery. Again, it's about like partly rewiring my brain, because normally the problem is if you want to play grip racing and you do slow down, you end up bloody drifting anyway. So this is going to be a case of, oh my god, oh my god, whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe a little bit of traction, just a lick, just a slither of it. Holy crap, this feels quick, man. The speed, oh, braking. Did you see that? I didn't drift out of the corner. But if I press the handbrake, we can still get a bit leery, which is kind of what you want. Other than like the weird jolts every now and again, but again, this is made by like 2-3 people in total. It just gives me the confidence, which I've never had before in Need for Speed. In modern days. Nah, to be fair, ever in Need for Speed. So, handling mods do tend to adjust the handling of other AI racers, but the AI doesn't change. So this is going to be an interesting race in where they may all just drive into a cliff. But yeah, we're not near a cliff. Exactly. All right, come on then. Let's get Supra. There's my knobhead sticker. Very cool. To be fair, the AI also making full use. Full use. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Ooh, it kind of like enables traction 100% for a second, almost. It feels like a stability control when you land. You see that? That's weird. Anyway, yeah, look at this. We are playing Need for Speed without doing any drifting. I'm just not used to it. I want to carry speed. Let's try and slow down a little bit more for the corners. Screw off some speed. Maybe not full throttle everywhere. It's weird. I'm not used to it in this game. Power! Ooh. Do I not have any NOS upgrade equipped? It doesn't seem like I do. What the hell am I doing? Oh, wait, I do. It's just a different dial. Oh, no! I have no air control. Jumps are a little freaky, is what I will say. The rest of it, though, you can clearly, plainly see this is a huge, huge difference. This honestly makes me inspired to play through the whole game and relearn the feel. It's still got a little wobble. And re-experience the game with this handling. I think that would be we only just played through the game again, but I'm ready for another playthrough of Heat. Year 6 playthrough? I think so, ladies and gents. Come on! Yes! Oh, he's getting done in! Oh my god. Careful, careful, careful. It's actually making the race more tense. This guy's doing well. Maybe it's a case of I've got to learn, but the AI actually coping incredibly well. I'm impressed, man. It still feels a little false, the way it's holding me. It very much feels like they've done it through the traction control method that's already available in the... I can hear him. Don't you dare. Oh, he's miles away. It feels like they're using elements that are already there to make it kind of do it, but I'm properly impressed by that. Like, normally when I try these handling mods, I come away like, it's cool, but I wouldn't genuinely use it. This may be the first time I'm like, yeah, this actually could be my new default handling style for this game. And if I wanted to, you know, loosen it up a little bit, I just make it do that by turning off the traction and spinning out. That's just something that can't be experienced in Need for Speed normally. Just spinning around, but I'm on grip handling, so if I start going at a little bit of pace, I am on oversteer, by the way. I should mostly have a more grippy time. We do have one last thing to check out, and that is the drag kit. So after this corner, look at that! Beautiful, the best of both worlds in one car. That's how cars are supposed to be. I'm alive. This is gonna be nutty. Come on. Jesus Christ. Yeah, we're in miles an hour, by the way. Yeah, I think I might crash. Anyway, let's get onto a straight road. Can't really turn, but... Oh my god! Oh! 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 Holy crap! Yeah, Need for Speed, ladies and gents. I'm so glad to be back in Heat. It sounds like I'm a animal of some sort. It's not what I meant.